Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel. I'm Project Aurora. You can also follow me on my Twitch at twitch.tv/Project Aurora, as well as join my community Discord should you ever want to discuss the lore of this game and stuff without spoilers. Please, no spoilers. I'm pretty invested in the series. Um, anyways, you'll recall in the previous episode that the Guerrilla Fortress came under attack during our field study as well as Crossbell at the same time. So Class 7 saddled up to assist the Imperial Army in retaking the fortress and stopping the Imperial Liberation Front from taking over the railway guns. I did screw up and miss. I denied you guys looking at one of the S-crafts. I'm sorry. I did look it up in a YouTube video. I managed to find it. It took a few tries. It did look pretty cool. I think it was called like Bloody Storm or something like that. So if you want to see it or something like that, by all means, go check it out or whatever. Um, we did manage to divert it, but apparently everything went according to plan. Gideon's apparently dead, which is I don't know how, but or I don't know. Well, I know how. We know how, but we didn't see it per se. Apparently, some Jaeger corps that was hired by the Chancellor Gileath Osborne, I believe his name is, took him out, and that was that. Apparently, it was a pretty brutal way to go. Anyways, with that being said, they did escape. S and V both escaped. C said that they'll be back, and the people that were captured, like the terrorist agents that were captured, all committed suicide with neurotoxin poison so that they couldn't give up any information or talk. And then that kind of more or less ended the chapter. So we're about to get into chapter 6 now. Let's do it. September 15th.
Half a month after the incident at Guerrilla Fortress, a sense of lingering unease still hung over the Empire. The government increased patrols by the Railway Military Police as part of their counter-terrorism measures, while the Noble faction bolstered their provincial armies. There were even rumors that they'd hired several Jaeger corps. At the center of everything was the Imperial Liberation Front. They had allied with a terrorist group from the Republic of Calvard to attack the trade conference in Crossbell. And as we'd seen firsthand, had attacked Guerrilla Fortress in an attempt to fire the 2 railway guns stationed there. They'd made it abundantly clear that they were no mere insurgents. These were dangerous people we were dealing with. And following their attempts to target Chancellor Osborne and the Reformist faction, rumors started to spread of a possible connection between the Imperial Liberation Front and the Noble faction itself. Meanwhile, new information was filtering in from Crossbell that surprised us all. During the conference, one of the representatives of Crossbell's state government made the daring declaration that Crossbell would soon declare its independence, breaking free from its neighbors Calvard and Erebonia. To no one's surprise, both the Imperial government and the Noble faction dismissed it as nothing more than delusional raving. But one thing was clear: that declaration only served to increase the tension in Erebonia and across the continent. On a cool, clear autumn day, the Academy's prestigious board of directors gathered for their first meeting of the year.
And that concludes my biannual report.
Good, good. It seems the Academy is running like a well-oiled machine. No administrative issues to speak of. Student performance is sitting comfortably above the national average on exams and on general aptitude tests, too.
The second-year students seem to be having a banner year as well. The Student Council president, in particular, has built up an outstanding array of extracurricular achievements.
Well, she attended last month's trade conference, and from what I hear, she put the professional secretaries to shame. I only wish the conference could have ended on a more positive note.
I'll say, the share prices of my company have been on a real roller coaster ride ever since.
Undoubtedly, what happened at the trade conference has wreaked havoc on the economy as a whole. But moving on. I couldn't help but notice in the recent exam reports that Class 1 and 2's academic performance seems to be slipping. Perhaps the preferential treatment given to the upper class students is hindering their scholastic development?
Well, students belonging to the nobility are allowed to return home during August to learn more about their family's lands. It's a tradition here, but one I can't help but wonder if we've outgrown the need for in this modern age.
If I may, traditions accumulate and hold meaning only so long as they're preserved. Our nation's culture, its arts, its social classes, all are rich with tradition that makes Erebonia what it is, and I believe we have a duty to protect and uphold them. After all, does not this very institution champion the ideals of its founder, Emperor Drykles?
Indeed it does. Though I've always understood Drykles' intent to be the founding of an academy for the people. Even 200 years ago, when education was seen as the province of the nobility, male commoners were permitted to enroll. Today, we have plenty of young women attending, and the commoners easily outnumber the nobles on campus. Perhaps it's time we started taking strides to realize Emperor Drykles' true ideal.
You seem to be laboring under a few misconceptions here. Commoners were permitted to attend, but only as retainers. Retainers served knights, who served lords, who served the emperor. That's the way the Erebonian society functioned. From that vantage, the structure of the academy in its earlier days certainly seems to have embodied that social order. And if that's so, what is there to suggest that it's not the social order itself that has become the aberration?
Well,
For one, if that were the case, it would be far easier for me to see my views put into practice. But I can hardly get a word in edgewise between you two. Well, I'd certainly enjoy a return to the way things were in Drykles' time, at least in that particular respect.
Our apologies, Your Highness.
well, our role here is to consider your views and work toward implementing them.
See what I mean? Would you be so kind as to help me out here, Principal?
I'm here to moderate this board. It wouldn't do for me to express my position on the issues at hand. That said, I'm sure your passion for reform will triumph in the end, Your Highness.
I suppose I should have known better than to look to my old teacher for sympathy.
It warms my heart to see such a fine teacher-student relationship.
Now, if I may, I'd like to steer this discussion toward a rather timely topic. We've already touched on the issues regarding the Orbal Net and the Orbal Staves, but I'd like to stress again that the adoption of new security measures for the Orbal Net should be a top priority.
Well, I'm certainly inclined to agree, but we'll have to rely on the Foundation directly, as things are looking a little shaky with the IBC.
You can leave that to me. The other matter I'd like to review is the use of the Orbal Staves and the Arcus units. Or more specifically, we need to talk about how Class 7 should operate from here on out. Setting aside the fact that my daughter is a member of Class 7, I think we need to reconsider how the class should be run, in light of what happened at Gorelia Fortress. While it certainly proved an excellent chance to see what the Arcus units are capable of, I have serious doubts about whether we should carry on with these field studies, given the current political climate.
It would be difficult to do so, I admit. With the terrorists at large and the problems in Crossbell unresolved, these are uncertain times.
At the very least, I believe it may be in the class's best interest to cancel this month's field study. We can always resume them once the terrorists have been arrested and the situation in Crossbell calms down.
Arise, O youth, and become the foundation of the world. I'm sure you all recognize the words of Emperor Drykos. They become something of a school motto here. It's my belief that Class 7's actions at Gorelia Fortress perfectly embody the spirit of that directive. They stood together to stop a tragedy in the making and, in a sense, protected the foundation of our world. No one ordered them to do it. They took action of their own free will, because they knew in their hearts what was right. Some might call it recklessness. Some may think it rash. Some may even venture to call it hubris. However, as chairman of this academy, I'm incredibly proud of what the brave young men and women of Class 7 achieved.
Your Highness.
Troubled times may lay in store for Erebonia, and for the entire continent in the months and years to come. But I believe that makes something like Class 7's field studies all the more significant. The experiences they're having now will help them find the strength and the means to press on through adversity. I can't be the only one who feels this way, can I?
They do seem to be showing remarkable growth. That much is true. Although I have no idea how much my daughter is really capable of, immature as she is.
I could say the same of my hothead of a son.
I do wonder about my brother sometimes. However, it does seem that enrolling at this academy has helped him start breaking out of his shell.
With the Academy Festival coming next month, we hadn't even planned a field study. So the issue at hand is just whether to hold a field study at the end of this month or not. I'd like to ask those in favor of going ahead with this month's field study to please raise their hands.
All right, I'd like to begin by taking everyone's ideas for our class's part in the school festival.
#127th Military Academy Festival.
The festival will run for 2 days next month, the 23rd and the 24th. Equipment setup and the other preparatory work will begin in the afternoon 2 days before the start of the festival. But there's a lot of preparation needed before we get to that point, and the sooner we get that underway, the better.
That's all the more reason to figure out what exactly we want to do. Some of our options include displays, events, stage shows, and cafes. Does that sound right, Crow?
Yeah, though no class I know would settle for just some simple display. I mean, come on, no one ever said, "Boy, we better rush to get in the line for that display."
Well, either way, I'd like to start by soliciting some ideas from all of you. We're just brainstorming right now, so feel free to say whatever comes to mind.
Would it kill you all to give just a teensy bit of cooperation?
I know. It's just...
It's kind of hard to focus right now.
You're one to talk, standing up there with your nervous fidgeting.
Well, I can't say I'm surprised. The board of directors is in session as we speak, deciding what'll happen to our class.
And those of us with family members who sit on that board probably have even more cause for concern.
You can say that again. We can't even be sure whether there'll be a field study this month.
That's about the long and short of it. With everything that happened during last month's field study, it honestly wouldn't surprise me if they just canceled it.
I can't say I have any particular feelings of attachment to our field studies, but I refuse to accept needless changes to our curriculum, especially with my brother involved in the decision-making process.
Yeah, I can see what you mean.
Makes sense to me.
We also have to account for the fact that going on our field study means that much less time to prepare for the festival. So, as you can see, it presents a bit of a problem.
Man, look at you guys taking this all seriously.
I probably should have asked a little earlier, but what's this festival you guys keep talking about?
Wait, seriously?
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have gone over that for your benefit.
Every year, the students here organize and put on a school-wide festival. There are stage events, food stalls, and all kinds of things to see and do. And it generally falls to each of the first-year classes to provide the main attractions.
Yeah, participating is optional for the second years, since by this point they're usually focusing on their future careers. Oh, and each of the clubs generally get involved too.
Huh, that sounds fun. In that case, we have to do something. We can't just let the other classes roll over us because we're small.
You say that, but I've already had one of the girls from Class 1 bluster up to me declaring that this time victory will be all ours.
What? It must have been Ferris. That sounds exactly like something she'd say.
Well, Class 1 does seem to have had it in for us ever since the midterm results were announced.
If it's all the same, I'd rather not see the House of High Arms claim yet another nominal victory. But we need to account for the fact that our class is markedly smaller than theirs is.
That's certainly true.
It'd help if we at least knew what the other classes are doing.
It kind of seems like everyone's having trouble staying focused.
Come on, everyone, get it together.
Instructor Sarah?
Isn't this a self-study period?
Oh, it was. But I thought you all might like to know that the Board of Directors meeting just adjourned a few minutes ago. So I decided to skip along down here and be the first to break the news.
Then?
What about our next field study? Are we still on?
The Chancellor's not the only one with a little too much iron in his blood. Because the board voted unanimously to have you continue your field studies.
You mean it?
So that's how it is.
You know, even though they're always hard work, I actually feel a little relieved.
Considering all that happened last month, we'll need to be especially careful this time around.
Still, it feels like our field studies are a big part of who we are as a class.
Yeah.
They're kind of a pain, but oh well.
We should be grateful to His Highness and the directors.
That's good news.
Seeing the hard road and the easy road, then picking the hard one anyway. That's youth for you.
It also sounded like His Highness and the directors will be taking off in pretty short order. So I'll let you guys out of study hall early to go see them if you want.
Oh.
If you say so.
I think I'll take you up on that.
Oh, is that supposed to be Mueller? Mueller in 3D? He looks a little... Huh. Different. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely him, I can tell. Mother! Dad! Oh lord. Marcus, I haven't had the chance to talk to you guys since the summer festival. It sounds like you were quite the heroes at Garrelia Fortress. Come on, don't tease us. I'll be the first to admit that we acted rashly, but in the end, I have no regrets. I'm glad to hear it. It's good to see you again. Likewise. May feel so far behind us now. You have questions, no? It's written all over your face. I do? You were in the Gram, weren't you, to meet Duke Cayenne? Correct? I was hoping to have time to greet you and your classmates, too. But I imagine you would rather he not take too close an interest in you. You imagine right. Still, I'm concerned. What is the House of Alberea playing at? And not just us, what are the 4 great houses and the rest of the noble faction trying to accomplish? You ask like there's a simple answer. The 4 great houses aren't as united in opinion as you might think. Even within individual families, there can be disagreements. You know that I differ with Father on several issues. Rather than worrying about others' positions, I suggest giving some thought to your own, as a member of the family. I'm surprised you actually managed to make it here. I was expecting a business negotiation to crop up just in the nick of time, like it always does. Time is something you make, not something you find. All the more so if you're in a position of responsibility. Lady Elisa is quite the multitasker herself. You should see her. She has no trouble balancing her time between her studies, training, club activities, and hobbies. Of course she doesn't. I'd be disappointed if she wasn't able to manage at least that much. You need to start using your time more creatively, Elisa, instead of simply doing what's required of you. I saw the railway guns at Gorelia, you know. I saw what those Oxens are capable of. And I can understand why Grandfather regrets ever making them. Do you honestly feel like things like that are necessary? Are you really okay with that? I think the fact you've seen enough to ask me that now means that deep down you've realized that they're both necessities of this era we live in. Well, the opinions of others are only that. Stop relying on them so much. Observe for yourself and draw your own conclusions. That's what someone who was truly independent would do anyway.
Still, I wasn't expecting to find myself indebted to you again so soon. Without your intervention, the Chancellor and I would have met our maker in Crossbow.
Don't mention it. We're
just relieved you're all okay, Your Highness.
Indeed. I'm glad you were able to focus on making a positive contribution at the conference.
I wish I could tell you that's exactly what I did. I could scarcely find a place to chime in once the Chancellor and the Republic's President got going. Though the Mayor of Crossbell managed to dumbfound even them.
I presume you're referring to his proposal for Crossbell's independence?
Hard to believe it could actually happen.
Well, as long as both Erebonia and Calvard refuse to accept it, the likelihood of it actually happening is incredibly low. Still, they're planning to hold a referendum on the issue to see if the population is in favor of it. So there'll be plenty more chances for disputes to break out over the issue.
Well, neither of them want to lose all that sweet tax revenue from Crossbell. Half of it flows into the provinces too, so like, fat chance the noble faction's gonna take that line down.
Millium. Oh, I swear, this kid has all the delicacy of a rock to the face.
So you're Millium, are you? Your name seems to have come up with increasing frequency lately. I was hoping for a chance to see the famous Eric Getlam in action, though.
Oh, sure thing. Come on, Lamb!
Whoa there. Cool your jets.
I'm not sure this is the best place to call out Eric Getlam. Just a hunch.
Lame.
Objection overruled.
That could have gotten messy.
Honestly, it would save us all a lot of trouble if you could just refrain from saying whatever pops into your mind, too.
Lame.
Oh, who might you be?
Say, are you from the Vander family? The one who serves as the prince's bodyguard?
Oh, did Neidhart mention me?
That's good old Mueller.
I'm Mueller Vander of the 7th Armored Division. I was with the prince at the conference in Crossbell, so I'm in your debt as well. Glad to be able to thank you personally.
The honor is ours, sir.
It's an honor to meet a member of the esteemed Vander family.
Ah, so you're the Radiant Blade Master's daughter. And you must be a practitioner of the 8 Leaves 1 Blade style. I'm always happy to meet fellow students of the sword. Oh, and you must be the young man from Nord who my uncle wrote a reference for.
Yes, that would be me. I owe a lot to Lieutenant General Vander.
It sounds like he's in your debt as well, with everything that happened in Nord a few months ago. Well, you all seem like dependable young men and women. Perhaps the prince's idea had some merit to it after all.
See? What did I tell you? And it's not just Class 7 either. The whole academy seems so full of life. Perhaps I should take this opportunity to break down social barriers by getting to know all of them in the academy's pool.
That's the Prince Oliver that I know.
If you really want to work up a sweat, I'd be glad to let you run back to Heimdall. If you kept up a good sprint, I'll bet you could even make it in a couple hours.
You'd actually make me do it, too. Ah, cruelty. Thy name is Mueller.
It's like their hearts practically beat in sync. That's certainly one way to look at it. I wonder how long they've known each other.
Well then, I bid you all a fond farewell. I hope we have the chance to meet again soon.
Three days had passed since the board of directors handed down their decision. With the assurance that our field studies would continue, we finally turned our attention to next month's festival. However, losing those couple of days at the end of the month meant we had that much less time to prepare. No matter how much we brainstormed, we couldn't think of any really compelling ideas our small class could pull off. Eventually, jeez, I can't believe we burned through another week already. But hey, at least it's the perfect weather for a weekend out on the town. I hope you all enjoy your free day tomorrow. Especially since you've got another practical exam coming up next Wednesday. You couldn't just send us off with a "have a good weekend," could you? It just wouldn't be Instructor Sarah if she didn't throw in a little dash of torment. And then we have this month's field study coming up at the end of next week, right? Yep, just like we'd been planning. We might have made a few changes to the original itinerary, but nothing major. I'll tell you all about where you're headed after the practical exam, so until then, keep on guessing. Yeah, you don't need to make it into some sort of dramatic revelation. She always does, though. Oh, I can't wait to find out where we're gonna go this time. Oh, and by the way, you guys really need to figure out what you're going to do for the festival next month. First years have to participate, so if you can't think of anything, you'll be showing your field study reports instead. What? That certainly wouldn't be my first choice, or even my fifth. Anyway, that's a wrap for homeroom. If you'll do the honors, Miss Class President? Yes, Instructor. Stand. Bow. Well, I'm sure she was just joking about putting our field study reports on display. I hope. Either way, we need to figure out what we're doing by the start of next week. That sounds wise, especially considering we have our practical exam on Wednesday and our field study next weekend. If that's how things stand, we should make it our goal to at least have some solid ideas by the end of tomorrow. We also need to check out what the other classes are planning. If we ended up doing something that was already being done, we'd seem totally redundant. Yeah, we should split up and start gathering some info. But remember, we need to find something that'll work with the number of people we've got. Yeah, all the other classes have more than double the manpower we do, easily. And they all seem to have some pretty grandiose aspirations at that. If greatness were relying on numbers, museums would be full of artwork produced by committee. There must be some course of action that can turn our lesser numbers to our advantage. Yeah, the question is, what? If we had an easy answer, we wouldn't be spending all this time worrying over it. Yeah, I'm getting kinda pumped up. Well, a little inter-class competition never hurt anyone. In fact, it might spice things up a bit. Obtain Thor's summer uniform. Obtain Thor's standard uniform. I could have sworn that I got... Well... Strange. Does he have a... Oh. Whatever. Kinda grown attached to this look with the glove and everything. Anyways, let's do a... We'll make a quick save right there. Let us see. What shall we be doing? Oh wait, before I do that, There's supposedly a medal I was supposed to be able to get in the last chapter, but Mary didn't give it to me. I'm gonna try and get it now. Ah. Oh, Milliam joined the cooking class. Milliam, you might want to try to begin being a little more gentle. Putting too much strength into it will ruin the whole thing. I gotcha, I know what I'm doing. I have a sinking feeling that she doesn't. No, well, I don't. No, I don't have it yet, but maybe I'll get it on my free day. Try to get it on my free day. Oh. All right. Let's see. Alrighty. Oh, that's done. So I go back to the dormitory. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, I can make the hash beef rice. Alright, well. I'll just make another save just to be safe, but I think there's nothing as far as missables go. I'm not really sure. Alright.
Insects, huh? Well, it is fall, I guess. Hard to believe I've already been here half a year. The festival used to seem so far off, and now it's just next month. The past 6 months really have flown by.
Huh? Is that you, Reed?
Oh,
Toa? Hey there. Haven't seen you out and about too much lately.
Well, the meeting I was in ended a little early, so I thought that was a nice point to call it a day.
I see. Did you guys discuss the Academy Festival?
Yep. We've still got a lot we need to nail down before next month to keep the preparations running smoothly. There's enough to discuss that we're actually meeting again tomorrow.
Sounds like work's really keeping you busy then. By the way, have you figured out what you'd like me to help you with tomorrow? I'll even take the tasks now if you have them handy.
Oh, I usually sort those out before I go to bed. I guess I could go over them now, but there's some shopping I really need to do. Sorry, is it okay if I get them to you tomorrow morning like usual?
That's totally fine.
Rean, there's something I want to tell you, and I'm sorry it's taken me so long to say it, but I want you and everyone from Class 7 to know how grateful I am for what you did at Corellia Fortress.
Oh. It's fine, really. We've gotten plenty of rounds of thanks for it already. We just kind of ended up in the wrong place at the right time, and We were lucky the instructors were there, and...
That doesn't change the fact that you saved my life. I wasn't on the same floor where the conference was being held, but if a shot from the railway guns had hit Orcus Tower, I doubt I'd be standing here today.
Toa, I'm just glad you're safe.
Thanks. Anyway, I feel like I'm just kind of babbling on and repeating myself now, so I'll stop myself here.
Huh. She's awfully conscientious, isn't she? Oh, you said you were on your way out to do some shopping, right? Is there a lot on your list?
Well, a pretty good amount, I suppose. Oh, and I just remembered I need to pick up that stuff at the bookstore, too. Then after I get everything I need at the general store, I might have to make a trip back here to drop it off.
You could do that. Or I could come along with you and help carry all those bags. So how about it? No strings. I just feel like you could use a hand.
Oh no, there's no way I could drag you along on all my errands. I mean, sure, it'd be a big help, but I just feel so bad asking you to do it. Ugh, that makes it sound like deep down I secretly want you to come, and that's not...
Well, if it eases your conscience, there's actually something I need your advice on. It's about my class and what we can do for the upcoming festival.
That should be everything. Wow, is it this late already?
I guess the sun has started setting a little earlier lately. Still, I had no idea you came here often.
Well, Mict is always able to get stuff you can't buy anywhere else. He's my go-to guy when there's something I can't get at the Academy store. Like fireworks to use in school events. I think we even asked him for a penguin costume once, and he actually got it.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a pretty unique shopping list.
Uh-huh. Wait! How did you end up with all those bags? Oh no, I'm so sorry. Here, give me some of those.
Don't worry about it, I'm fine. You're carrying plenty as it is.
Sorry, Rain. Well, how about we take a break in the rest area over there? I'll buy you a coffee or something. You wanted to ask me something about the Academy Festival too, right? Ooh, yeah. That does sound like a problem. Well, your class doesn't have enough people to do anything that involves large-scale equipment or decorations. You all could get together and run a little cafe without any problems, if you all wanted to do something like that.
I'd thought about it, yeah. Still, if we're going to do something, I at least want it to be as impressive as what the other classes are doing.
Feeling a little competitive, aren't we, Rean? Well, you have enough people to put on a play or run a game tournament, but other first-year classes have already applied to do both of those.
I see. I don't really want to copy an idea another class is already doing. Come to think of it, what did your class do last year?
Oh, it was a cat-themed coffee shop where we all wore cat suits. And then there was that other event I did with Angie and the others.
Oh, you guys got together and did something else too?
It's nothing. Just forget I said anything.
Oh, if it involved Angie, I can only imagine.
We didn't put on any event, and even if we did, it wouldn't have been on stage.
I think you just let the cat out of the bag. So, you guys did do something on stage? What exactly was it?
Me and my big mouth. You really want to know?
If you don't mind telling me anyway. Who knows? It might help me think of something Class 7 could do.
Well, if you insist, I can't turn down a chance to help a sweet, fledgling first year, especially after how much you helped me. I'll reach down to my toes and muster every last bit of courage to tell you.
Thanks. Was it some kind of traumatic experience or something?
Well, in short, we put on a musical performance. A little concert of sorts, you could say.
Wow, really? I wouldn't have expected that from you guys. So you can play an instrument then?
I am afraid not. That's how I got stuck being the singer. Angie, Crow, and George all played for the show, though.
Wow, that actually sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. If we put on a musical show, I'm sure Elliot would be a big help. So, what kind of music was it? Classical? Folk? Show tunes?
Well, it's hard to describe, but it was passionate? Really modern.
I'm not sure I get what you mean.
Well, it's not really a genre that's caught on in the Empire yet. You definitely wouldn't hear it played in Heimdall's Opera House, that's for sure.
Huh?
Alright. Do you have some free time tomorrow evening? If you can't come until after you're done exploring the old schoolhouse, that's okay with me.
Tomorrow evening? Yeah, I should be free. Should I meet you in the student council room?
Oh no. Can you go to the computer room in the main school building?
Sure thing. Does this have something to do with the concert you held last year?
You'll just have to find out tomorrow night. Anyway, sorry to keep asking favors of you, but would you mind coming to the lower class dormitory with me? If we stay out here much longer, we're going to miss dinner at the dorms.
You have a point. But really, I'm fine with all the bags. Just leave the heavy lifting to me.
You're so stubborn.
Chapter 6, Progressive Chaos. Ooh, sounds ominous. Hang out in the dormitory. See what's going on with the squad. I'm looking forward to seeing what crazy idea you decide on. I can't help you out too much though. Having someone as brilliant as me on your side already feels like stacking the deck. Fair enough, we'll figure out something on our own. That aside, feels like you guys have finally gotten used to having me around. Guess that means I can finally take it easy. I guess so. Marcus is still adjusting to your antics, I think. But to me, you've always been a little too lax to fit the image of the model upperclassman. I mean, now that you've got the red jacket and everything, I might even forget you were ever a second year. Ouch. Man, that one might have hit a little too close to home. I'm just messing with you. Things we can pull off with just the number of people we've got in Class 7 are kind of limited, huh? Personally, I like if we did something music related, but that might be too much of a stretch. That reminds me, Toa mentioned that she was involved with some kind of concert for last year's festival. Maybe she'll have some good ideas for us when I go see her tomorrow evening. Helping my club prepare for the festival while trying to brainstorm an idea for our class is proving to be a challenge. We'll have to divide up our time wisely to make sure everything goes well. Well, I don't have any clubs to worry about, so I'll devote my extra time to finding a good idea for us. You say that, but I get the feeling you're even busier than the rest of us. I'm certain my brother has much on his mind, but shaming him through our lack of creativity is simply isn't an option. We must come up with an idea befitting our class and status. Oh, he's really serious about this. The idea of an academy holding its own festival is pretty new to me. We did have seasonal festivals in North, though, so maybe it's like those. I don't doubt that coming over here to put on a school festival that everyone in the school can enjoy will be a lot of fun. Now we just need to think of something our class can do for it. Ain't that the truth? What? Ah, good old Instructor Sarah. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. You've got your next field study and your practical exam coming up too, so the sooner you think of something, the better. If you really can't think of anything, you could always just post up your field study reports and call it a day. And win the award for most boring event ever? Not on my watch. We'll only have one chance to enjoy the festival as first years after all. Good, good, you do understand. Chairman stated that she has high hopes for the Academy Festival. Visitors will be coming from all different regions, so it should be quite stimulating for the economy, she says. Oh. Of course, she's also looking forward to your performance as well. I'm tingling with anticipation myself. People keep telling me that the festivals are all about the good stalls. I wonder what kind of tasty stuff they'll have. There's nothing wrong with being excited for them, but we should probably focus on an idea for our class right now. I know. Oh, Claire's downstairs, so obviously she's not in this room. Oh. Guess I'll go straight to bed tonight. Easy to come up with ideas when you're well rested. That's true. That raises the question, with all those naps you take, how are you always so tired? Years of experience. Oh, right. That makes sense. I'll try asking my club mates about their festival plans later. But Ferris is an upper class student and the other two are second years, so I'm sure they've got something amazing up their sleeves. Who wants to bet their answers are only going to depress me? Yeah, we don't exactly have a lot of options either. Still, I'm sure we'll come up with something that we can really be proud of. Yeah, you're right about that. What's wrong, Emma? Oh, sorry, I guess I've been feeling rather out of it lately. Maybe it's because I've been so focused on coming up with ideas for the Literature Club's short story collection. You should take the chance to get some good rest tonight then. And that's exactly what I intend to do. My club isn't meeting for practice tomorrow, so maybe I should spend the day pondering an idea for the festival. I also made arrangements with Sharon to teach me to... Oh, what are you planning on having her teach you? It's nothing too important, don't worry about it. Cook, maybe. She probably doesn't know how to cook. Student Council task September. From heart to stomach. I'm thinking about making some food as a present for someone, but I don't know what to make. Gotta be something that screams me, you know? I think I'll need someone to help figure that out. If you've got a stomach of steel and can help me out, meet me in the cafeteria kitchen in the student union. Year 1, Class 3. Reen, I have a favor to ask you to do me. Wait, Reen, I have to ask you to do me a favor. I'll be in the training hall on the first floor of the gym. If you come prepared. Angelica Rogner. Good, Mr. Schwarzer. We have come to an amusing juncture at which even where I... Good, Mr. Schwarzer. Oh, I see. Good, Mr. Schwarzer. We have come to an amusing juncture at which, even were I to submit a blank request form, you would naturally assume my intent to be an investigation of the old schoolhouse, and so it is once again. Principal Van Dyke. A request from Angelica. If she put it indirectly, I guess it doesn't have to have anything to do with the Orbital bike. But it says to come prepared. I wonder what that's all about. Let's see, we got the usual letter from the principal, and the others a request for me for helping make a dish. And then this evening I'm meeting Toa in the computer room. I'm curious what she has to show, but I guess right now I should just focus on the task I've got here. Well, we've got a nice fall day on our hands, and it looks like this weather's going to stick around for a while. My first free day since we switched back to the long sleeve uniforms too. Better roll up those sleeves and get to work. But I changed the uniform, so... And on that note, well, you know what? Nah, that doesn't end the episode. I do need to take a short break though, so be right back.